Hello, everyone out there. I'm attorney Brian Tierney. This is Breaking Bread with Brian. Today I'm here at the Snooty Fox and Hounds pub in lovely Willow Springs, Illinois. Let me tell you what, I love this place. It's a cozy little bar tucked away here. Great spot to go and warm up in the winter. We'll be talking more about that as we go on. I want to say thank you very much to the owner, Lee. He's a friend and neighbor of mine. Thank you so much for letting us break bread here today. The man behind the camera is now the man in front of the camera, Renee Costa from Blum Visual, and he has formed a partnership with Steven Caban called Willow Blvd Media, and we're here to tell you today what you should be doing in marketing, what's hot right now, and what are good things that we could be doing for the industry, for ourselves, and building our business. So, gentlemen, how are you?
Doing fantastic. Thanks for inviting me to this wonderful location.
Yeah.
Reminds me of London.
Yeah, it's a very cozy feel.
Yeah.
Great place to break bread and relax and
drink beer.
talk some business. So,
cheers.
Cheers.
it's been a great year.
Yes, it has.
It has.
So, and great year behind us, great year ahead of us. So, Renee, where were you from originally?
I was actually born here in Chicago, so I was born and raised here all my life. I grew up actually real close to him, around the same neighborhood. He grew up in Marquette Park. I grew up in Gage Park.
Okay.
So, but currently living in the South Side by Midway, and yeah, pretty much been here all my life. Went to school, done everything here.
A good Chicago person, a good
Yeah.
good South Sider like
funny 'cause
myself.
I hear a lot of people who live here. They're all like, "Oh, it's really hard to find those people that are born and raised here and still live here," which I was like, "There's a lot of those, but you just have to live for them."
I'm one of them too. My heart is here, and you mentioned Marquette Park. My grandma lived right by there, and we would always be over there as a kid. She'd be watching us while my parents were at work, or we would go visit her on the weekends.
Nice.
So I know the area very well. Marquette Park used to have this really cool haunted house that they were doing. It was outdoors too. So my dad would take us after work, and we'd go over there, and it was scary, and it was kind of larger than life, and it was everything's out in the open at Marquette Park. So
It was called Fright Night or something like that, right?
I think so,
Yeah.
and it wasn't
I
that
remember
expensive to go to either,
Right.
which was cool, for a nice little family thing. And Halloween's larger than life when you're a kid. So, and then you said also, Steven, that you were from the Marquette Park area.
Yeah, I was my childhood. I grew up in Marquette Park, right around the park, just a block away. And when I was about 13, my family, we moved up to the north side in Lakeview because they had opened an office, an Allstate insurance office over on Fullerton and Western. If any of you guys have been around there, then you probably recognize the Allstate logo on there. But we were there for many years. And, eventually we ended up selling the business about a year ago.
Okay.
So as a new
Congrats
owner
on the
over
sale,
there. Yeah. And it was a new chapter. So that's how I got started in media because, once my mother, wanted to retire. She was down in Florida. We sold the business. And now I'm sort of gathering the marbles and starting up my next venture, which is Willow Blvd Media in collaboration with Renee. And we're 100% focused on video production in the real estate industry. So.
Good deal. And you bring all that experience of, having worked in a small business, helping your mom with that business and your dad, and bringing that all behind you, what you've learned, and what people could be doing to better highlight their businesses in media marketing, especially with social media.
Absolutely. I mean, the whole game has changed now with social media because I remember growing up in my parents' office, as a kid, them growing that business. And I remember when they wanted to do a video, they had to hire a video production company who came out with some ridiculous looking monstrosity with, cassettes and stuff like that. And they could only afford a very late night, midnight, advertising spot on local television, and it looked terrible. The audio wasn't there. And it was, you ended up wasting several $1,000s on something that really didn't get you any reach. Now, for $50, you can do something, create a video, put it out there, have a targeted audience, and really start to generate some real conversation, it's amazing now.
It is amazing. And from a person who has been doing these breaking breads, the internet and podcasting has leveled the playing field. Before it was, you had to work to try to get some notice or recognition or build business and to get on TV. And now it's like, it's kind of the tables have turned, and TV is like, oh my God, now it's all about social media. So we went from not having a platform or an outlet to having social media.
And I think one of the biggest factors that actually impacts like how technology moves forward is just convenience. And if you're convenient and you save time for people, so like you were saying, a podcast scene came up, and that's only because many people don't have time to watch 2 hours of a podcast video, right, on TV or on YouTube. They rather listen to it in their car or on their way to work, especially for real estate agents. That's big, right? I know a lot of them love to listen to podcasts on the way to work, on the way to the next listing, whatever. But yeah, so now the Alexa, like what Amazon is doing, what Jeff Bezos is doing with Alexa and the Echoes and all that, like that's going to be really big. Right now, it's still moving slowly, but I know it's in the next 5 years, it's going to be widely used. Like voice generated things are going to be very, very, very big. Where you can just turn on and off and automate all your life with voice. Where you don't even have to get up to do anything. Just talk about it. Yep. Touch remote, nothing. Just talk about it and it'll happen. And you can start doing automation with that too. So there's a lot of cool things going on with voice.
Yeah, a lot of opportunity for the future, I guess, and it's almost maybe a little scary or intimidating to me. I don't know if I'm gonna go. I don't know if I'm gonna go full automation.
That's fine, but I think change in general, right, intimidates people because sometimes you're comfortable at where everything's going good, everything's moving good, but then change happens where now you have to learn something new, and you don't know if you're gonna be good at it or not. If you don't know if you want to get into it, then it scares you, of course, because what if I'm left in the dust, back there where everyone's moving forward. So change in general is always going to be scary, but it's up to you kind of like to make sure that you get out of that comfort zone and just move forward and try it out. You just have to try. That's it.
Absolutely, and thank you for getting me to try new things and helping me along the way. And to your point, podcasting is huge, and the great thing about it is convenience, like you said.
Of course.
If you can listen to it at your convenience, it's not like the TV shows back in the past. Oh, I have to tune in at a certain time, and that's what makes Netflix so great.
Netflix, right?
Because you can tune in whenever you want.
Yeah.
A lot of the times with the Netflix, the shows are already all up at once, so you can watch at your pace. You're not having that suspense of like, it was always kind of cool back in the day to look forward to the show next week when it would come on, but you had to be available at that time, or then when DVRs came in, you could you could record it and watch it later, but now you just watch it at your leisure.
It's funny that you said that too, because I don't know if you see my eyes. I was actually up till 2 a.m. watching Narcos on Netflix. I watched at least 4 episodes.
So you still have more to go because they only have one season on Netflix right now.
It's really interesting. I love Netflix, but yeah, that's 100% convenience. Being able to watch it back to back without having to pause, without having to wait next week till the next episode airs, all that.
And the podcasting too is great because it's hyper local content. Like people want to see things that are relevant to them, right? If they watch some national show on TV, they might not give their neighborhood or their city much coverage at all. Whereas we can watch something like your show, Breaking Bread, and I can see actual restaurants I can go to that are local to me, professionals that I know that I meet on a daily basis. I mean that's more exciting for me at least, to see that. So that's why I tune in.
Well, you guys raised a few points, and thank you for tuning in. The more, the better. Like and share. There's these restaurants and pubs that we're at sell themselves. Like I show you what's here, the beautiful atmospheres, the incredible food. I don't go to places to eat that don't have good food. So if you're going to one of these places, you're going to be getting good food. It's going to come better.
I've been here with every single episode.
Well, and to tell the viewers, we all eat together. So it's not just, me breaking bread with the guests. Renee and the crew, everybody's eating and getting to check out the food too. So Renee doesn't have to wait till later on to go try it. And shout out to his girlfriend Nancy, who is not here with us at today's shooting. She's taking care of some family business, and but she knows too. So, but yeah, and then the other thing you mentioned was Narcos. So I'm glad we're actually doing this podcast because my assistants have recommended it. So many people have recommended the show to me, and you just reminded me again that I really do have to start watching it.
Definitely.
So they're on the first season now.
Well, there's actually 2. The first one was Narcos, and it's like seasons are not going with each other. They're actually different stories. First one was Colombia.
I see.
And then Narcos 2, the second season is about Mexico.
I see.
And I'm pretty sure the next one might be something else, another country or something. So different stories, but the whole season is about one story, but every season changes.
That's interesting, and I guess it gives them a lot of room to go wherever they want with the storyline. They can hop around. There's no saying they can't go back to Colombia later. So the characters change then with the season.
Yeah.
Okay.
Of course.
I only know just by listening to people. I've resisted watching a single episode of Narcos because I know it's so good. Because I'm a binge watcher. I'm the kind of person who'll stay up till 4 a.m. Watching 5 episodes in a row. I'm worried about that. Because it happened to me with Game of Thrones and a few other shows it ruined my life for about a week. So, you know, I'll eventually get there.
We have to make time for our actual business, our work, you know.
I agree, and that's why, like, I like to watch the shows more on the weekends, because then at least I know, you know, if I'm binge watching on a Saturday night or a Friday night, at least I have the weekend. I don't have to, you know, there's no closings, there's no appointments. I mean, we do appointments on the weekend, but for the most part, it's not going to be in the morning, right away in the morning on a Saturday or Sunday. So, yeah, and the binge watching is a concern for me, too, because Breaking Bad, I hadn't seen it when it originally aired, when it was on TV. I watched it on Netflix. And so I was the same way. We'd watch it on a Friday or Saturday night and be like, one more episode. It's like, God, it's 3 a.m., you know? So I feel it, man, and I feel you on that. We have that in common. So, but I don't really watch those types of shows during the weeknights because, you know, we all have business to attend to. Most of the time I'm so tired from the work week that I'm not even worried about, you know, staying up any later than I need to, you know. I'm an old man. I watch the news and maybe a little bit of, the Tonight Show or something, and that'd be it, you know. So,
well, now instead of Breaking Bad, we can watch Breaking Bread.
Yes, sir.
And binge watch that.
Yes, sir. That had the similarities in the names. We never really even thought about that. That was just, you know, the idea. I got it. You know, shout out to Ralph Waller at Exit Realty for mentioning Breaking Bread with Brian, giving me that idea for the name. Great name, has a ring to it. But yeah, we had no similarities with that. It just happened to be that way. So tell us about Full Bars Media. Tell us, you know, what's your main focus for your business as far as the industries you were working with?
Right. So when I started Full Bars Media, at the time I was actually running a real estate agency. So for me, it was very important to do marketing, to do this sort of, because video is huge now. You have to have video in your marketing plan. And I found it very difficult to kind of find an agency that I felt comfortable with, who did very high image quality, high sound quality, had an attention to detail, and really, you know, gave a crap about my industry, real estate.
Right.
And Full Bars Media was formed because what I find is that a lot of realtors specifically, but also loan officers, contractors, developers, you know, a lot of them are artists. They're proud of their work. They're subject matter experts, and they need to really get that message out there and go beyond the sort of like look at me kind of self-promotional material and really do something that's more educational, more expository, teaching the audience something new about the real estate market, actually showing them. And that's what we encourage our clients to do. For example, we produce a show with a downtown apartment broker where we go ahead and we review all these high-rise luxury apartment buildings because we want to show. We want to show, don't tell, but show.
Has that started airing already?
We just wrapped up 2 episodes, and we're gonna wrap up about 3 more before we actually push it live.
Okay. Because I was gonna say I have not yet seen it out there. And are you guys at liberty to say who it is or what the name of the show is?
Sure. Yeah, it's with Stephanie Spenner.
Shout out to Stephanie, good friend of mine. Met her through the Chicago Association of Realtors, YPN Breakfast. So shout out to Stephanie and good stuff ahead with her videos.
Yeah. So we always look for subject matter experts. Like in her case, she was a leasing manager at Marquee, which is an enormous, you know, I think 500, 600 unit building downtown. And she's the perfect candidate to kind of present, to be a host of a show where she can introduce all these new managed rental buildings and teach us a little bit about the business. We also work with Ryan Garcilaso, who's a rehab consultant.
Okay.
So people are going to be tuning in for that to learn about rehab construction, the ins and outs, how to not get ripped off, you know, different pitfalls.
To avoid it.
Exactly. And our content runs the whole gamut from financing, you know, how people find financing on real estate, interior design, you know, all pillars of real estate. So we encourage people to reach out to us to kind of create these different programs, and it helps their brand.
Sounds good. That was very well rounded, and it sounds like you guys are covering a lot of different bases there. A lot of opportunity to grow, because there's the old school way, and what I was telling people, regardless of what audience I'm speaking in front of, Renee knows this. We've done speeches together talking about Blum Visual previously, and it's just not leaving that corner or that stone unturned, if you will.
Yeah.
There's opportunity there. You can't neglect it. It's part of our life now, social media. So you have to have that presence and have to be being seen and building business and teaching people new things and adding value to yourself as a brand.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You know, I would say, you know, you have to be, from a marketing perspective, you have to be where the eyeballs are. And right now, you know, Facebook is we can't ignore it because it's already, you know, captured such a wide audience. All of our friends are on there. All of our business partners are on there. And they're spending more time on Facebook than they are on any other platform, more than Google, more than TV programming, more than YouTube. So having a strategy for Facebook it's a must. It's not just an option anymore. It's a must. And you know, we get a lot of clients who they want to do this style of marketing, but they're either overloaded in one aspect or another. They either do too much digital marketing and they're not strong on the content, the video content. Others want to do very strong video content, but they don't do the digital advertising, the promotional ads, the boosting that they really they need to do to get all the eyeballs.
Email campaigns.
Exactly. So we always encourage people to strike a balance. You know, really strong audiovisual content, but also have a budget to do those boosted campaigns to get your videos in front of the right audience. I mean, I remember doing a video last year with Nicholas Casafados on a developer who was renovating a bunch of buildings in Little Village. And that video absolutely blew up. It got 600 shares, 60,000 views. It got picked up by local media.
That's huge. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the kind of content that we really want to collaborate with experts such as yourself to create. Because when you teach people something new about their neighborhood, something they haven't seen before, that goes viral. Because then they're tagging their friends and family, like, here, look at this, look what's going on in the neighborhood now. Because people want to take that video and contribute it as value, as their own value. Because people want to be value adds themselves. So if they find out an interesting piece of news, they want to go ahead and share that. They want to be the first to share that. And that's what we talk about when we talk about the strength of viral social media marketing.
Yeah, and speaking of viral, you don't know when you first do a given video whether it's going to go viral or not.
Exactly.
So for that to happen, I mean, what do you say, 600 shares?
Yeah.
And how many views or
I think it hit about 60,000 views.
That's incredible for somebody who's maybe not known outside of Chicago to have that many views. That's a lot.
And they got picked up by local newspapers as well. So the developer ended up getting interviews out of that. And the broker, Nicholas Casafados, got a lot of inquiries because he's an expert on real estate investing. So showing people, again, delivering that, being the reporter, in essence, right? Because you probably know a lot of stories that are happening in your local neighborhood that, the local media doesn't know about yet. You're first to break that story. Now you're Mr. ABC or whatever, So that's the opportunity that's on the table. So.
Yeah, and one video could really just be the breakthrough. Like that's a breakthrough video there where I'm sure his business is he's become kind of a local celebrity and people know who he is and more business opportunities will come his way just from having a video that was that successful. Yeah,
one video can get you, for example, we got 100 email signups from that one video. People just wanting to subscribe to the content. And, also just people just reaching out and just saying, hey, I actually know a few more stories that you can tell that are in my local neighborhood. And now, lo and behold, you've started your own media empire just by breaking these stories. So I encourage it. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It is good stuff, though.
Yeah.
But like you said, the one video thing, I mean, you see that happening every day, especially those videos that were not intended to go viral, but they go viral because either they're funny or, the memes and all that.
Yeah.
And you see, a couple of people who have just from one video that went viral, all of a sudden just became Instagram superstars, celebrities overnight.
That's all it takes.
Yeah, that's all it takes. That's one aspect, that's like on the entertainment, they still make a lot of money through that, but you can make the same way just through business side, like with real estate. That one video, if you know how to react afterwards, after you get all that engagement, you know what to do, and how to really optimize out of all the views you're getting, then you definitely are going to get a lot of good stuff from that one video.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Boost your success.
Yeah.
to the
Are
top.
there any other projects that you guys are working on, or things that you're doing now that the viewers need to know about as far as growing their brand or their business?
We have some video products that are targeted specifically to small and medium-sized businesses. So in other words, running their entire social media campaign with video production added on at a fixed monthly rate. So I encourage people to reach out if they're interested in that. But also, since we're so focused on real estate, we have our video listing product, because one of the mistakes we see realtors making, for example, when they're doing their listing video, is that they're not in the video. Like, you need to be in your own video.
Yeah, you
know
are
what I'm
your
saying?
own brand,
Exactly.
Regardless.
Exactly. So you need to be on camera and make that sales presentation if you're selling a $1 million home, right? You want to actually show people those features and really drill down into, and not just rely on kind of slideshows to kind of get you by, or graphics that you might post on your personal profile. I mean, Facebook allows you the ability to build an audience, and not only an audience, but people who are engaged. So we can run a campaign where we push out a video, and then from there we'll build an audience of only people who have watched 20, 30 seconds of that episode, of that video, and then we'll have another campaign targeted specifically to the people who have watched.
Retargeting, yeah.
Exactly. So retargeting those individuals who have watched X amount of your videos.
We're gonna have to work on that
Yeah.
For me, because
Yeah.
I'm sure there's been we've done very well on the ones we've done so far.
Right.
But I'd like to retarget too.
Yeah.
Well, we gotta.
Yeah.
I want to build a nice core audience.
Yeah, tell them
Continued
about
viewers.
those
Yeah.
people.
Absolutely.
But one thing that a lot of real estate agents that we hear a lot from a lot of agents is like, all these things that you got to learn, like learn email marketing, learn video, learn how to, interact online. For those people that don't know how to do any of that stuff, the excuse that I hear is just like, that takes a lot of time, which is true, right? If you're trying to become an expert at it, of course it's going to take a lot of time. You got to do research, you got to try things out. But one thing you got to do is either outsource it, right, to people like us that know what we're doing. But if you outsource it to the right people, because there's some people that'll do it, but just get paid, right, and just do the work, while we get paid and we actually think about the best way of optimizing that budget and making something long term. So what I mean by that is, we can make, like, you pay us $1,000, $2,000 to make a video, some other company will make that video. But if you pay us $2,000, $3,000 to make a video, we'll think about the strategy in the future long term on how that video is going to get the clicks through the website, through a landing page for email signings, for an email automation campaign, where down the line, all those audience, all those people, all those views are going to get converted, either now or in the future.
Right.
And so if these real estate agents take some time just to either learn it themselves, even, if they want to do that, and just set something up. It might take 3 months, 5 months to set something up that it's just automated. After that, you don't even need time to put in for marketing. Just follow the system, and that's kind of what we built, is systems like that.
And and I speak from experience for realtors, because I was an active realtor myself, and spent a good, I want to say, 5 figures on Zillow, for example, to generate leads. But the problem with that sort of strategy, and some people can make it work, and that's great, is that at the end of the day, you're on someone else's platform. Right, so you don't have recurring traffic, people who are coming back to your website or coming back to your video or your channel to receive new and relevant information. They're always going back to Zillow, so you're always going to be having to fork up money to be on Zillow, and they could jack up their prices tomorrow.
And long term, Zillow's trying to take over the real estate industry, where agents won't be needed no more. So that's why a lot of people are concerned, is those people that don't know, they're putting money into Zillow, trying to get leads, but at the end of the day, you're helping them kind of kick you out of your own job.
You're feeding the mouth that bites you at the end of the day.
Yeah.
That's and it's well said. And the thing is, like, the more these realtors are working with Zillow, the more Zillow is learning about them, right?
Yeah.
And if you're trying to eliminate realtors from the industry, a good way to do it is to work with them and see how they're marketing and where they're selling and what they're doing as part of their business and their brand.
And that's an important point, because the way realtors can really compete with Zillow and win is that hyper-local content that Zillow's not gonna. They don't know all the neighborhood stories. They don't know the neighbors,
The people.
They don't know the business owners.
The stories, everything.
You know, like for example, you're building a platform for yourself where you're featuring local business owners, restaurants, and helping them build their platform. That way, they don't have to go to, you know, necessarily Yelp for reviews, which are half of them are posted by bots and fake accounts. So locals taking over media, that's what's on the table. That's the opportunity that's on the table, and fighting back against the big VC-backed companies. That's the way I see it. I think it's the good fight. I think it's the good fight.
I think it is too, and I think you guys are well positioned to prepare people for that too. And you know, to your point, sometimes for a lot of people it's timing, but I know that in Renee I have somebody good behind the scenes who's thinking of different things, right?
Right.
We're not in touch every day,
Right.
but once or a week or so, Renee will say, hey, this is something I found that you can use, or what do you think about this change to your website and different things to optimize things to best grow my business and to just grow in general. And it's not always about business or immediate conversions. It's just building a good reputation and, you know, just showing, you know, being likable, right? And showing people that I'm an average person too. I'm not just somebody you see on the picture, you know, on the website or whatever have you, you know, because you see that a lot with realtors. You'll see them like on flyers or, you know, on the, sometimes I know folks will advertise in the local newspaper and they seem like almost like a celebrity, right? Because you see their picture in this media platform, albeit old school. And you feel like, oh my gosh, like they're that person. And you see them in person, it's like they're the person you'll see at the local grocery store too, because they live in the community or they, you know, they work around there. So, you know, it's a way to kind of show people to make that connection ahead of time with folks.
Right. And going with that real quickly, I just want to, that brought up something that I actually brought up to you, and I just want to give the audience, because I know there's a lot of real estate agents that watch this, is one like technique or tip that you can take is, you know what I was saying about Alexa. So I don't know if you guys know, because I know, do you have an Alexa at your house?
I know, not yet.
I don't either. I'm not that.
No.
I'm way behind that. I'll be the last guy.
I have like 5 or 6.
Yeah, really?
Yeah, one turns off my lights, the other one turns on my TV, you know, because they're in different places. But it's cool, you can automate a lot of stuff. But what's cool about it is that there's this thing called the daily, like the news. So I can go inside the app and look for people I want to subscribe to. So when I say, Alexa, what's my news brief or what's my news flash, it starts going down the line and starts telling me the news flash for every single person. So it's like a mini podcast playing as soon as I wake up in the morning and say, Alexa, what's my newscast?
Content?
No, it's audio.
Audio.
It's playing through the speaker. And it's like, let's say, for instance, one of the people I've subscribed to is Gary Vee, because he's already doing it, because he knows, right? He's on top of the game all the time. So one of the people I subscribe to is Gary Vee. And so when I say, what's my news flash briefing, it starts giving me, this is the Gary Vee news flash briefing for today. And every day it changes, because you have to make one for every day. So for that day, he's talking about something that's relevant to that day, and another person is talking about something. And you can also subscribe to the standard, like CNN, ABC News, all that stuff, and they give you like the quick flash brief about the neighborhood or something like that. So you can do the same thing as a real estate agent and try to figure out a way where you can use that and have a lot of your clients subscribe to that and give out like flash briefings about the real estate industry, right? And it's something like literally like a 30-second, 45-second, 60-second, 2-minute thing you can be doing every single day, and that's it. Just record it, upload it to your Alexa like interface, and that's it. And then it goes out to everyone who subscribes to you. And when they say, Alexa, what's on my news flash briefing, they'll listen to it every day.
And that could be a video about like a current project they're working on within their business, or just something that's going on within the community.
This is the thing where you have to brainstorm stuff, but you could have one just for real estate agents, where you help other real estate agents. You become the authority for real estate agents, and maybe that way you could build a business of referrals because people love you. Or it could be directly a podcast type thing for your clients and prospects, where you talk about how the housing market is every day. Like every day, here's your everyday mortgage score point. Here's what the mortgage is like today. Here's what it's going to be like tomorrow. Whatever, something smart, and just know how to use that. So that's one thing. And there's more things that are going to come out, right, eventually in the future. But that's just one thing that's out there right now that I have not seen any real estate agent in the actual list of people that I can subscribe to. No one's in there doing real estate stuff. There's one for Bitcoin. There's Gary Vee. There's entrepreneurship. There's new stuff. There's meditation things where your 1 minute meditation with Jessica or something like that, right? So they do stuff like that. Your 1 minute whatever with Brian Tierney,
Yeah.
Cool.
You guys might be making me a believer in the Alexa and these news flashes.
That's really nice.
maybe that's something I'll take on, and you know, going forward, we'll see. That could be another weapon in the arsenal, if you will. But those who get out early and get at the forefront of it, like victory comes through the diligent, right? So, people, you know, the first few people to get really good at this and get a lot of subscribers could end up being at the forefront. So, to all the realtors watching, it sounds like there's some really good opportunities there with Alexa going forward. You know,
yeah, you just gotta look for them. That's true.
So what else? What else? Just in general, I guess. What else could people be doing, or should they be doing? What's hot right now? What are the trends? What are the pitfalls? I know that's like a lot of stuff to unpack, but four points there.
Pitfalls, I mean, in a broad sense, I would say have a strategy. Again, this goes back to the point you made about, you know, getting the billboards and the benches and the postcards that have your face and really try to make you out as some sort of celebrity, but doesn't really demonstrate any subject matter expertise, right? The video platform is the one you want to build up first, because you're showing your true self at that point, and people are more comfortable seeing you interact in a real environment. I mean, that's the first thing. The second thing is, you know, posting on your create a Facebook page, all right? Because I do see a lot of realtors, a lot of them I'm friends with who don't have a Facebook page.
Business page or personal?
A business page.
Okay, business.
Because your personal profile page, you're missing out on all the analytics that you can be getting from your content, right? So if you have a business page and you post your videos on there, then you can further target who's actually watching your videos, right? And create an audience and start generating leads and pushing traffic to your other web assets, whether it may be your YouTube page or your website. Okay. Don't make the mistake of just posting to your personal profile, because you're missing out. You're missing out on a huge opportunity. That's the biggest mistake I see realtors making now. And I get it, because you know you already have an audience on your personal. Right now, Facebook is favoring personal profile content over business page content. Why? Because they want you to pay for those eyeballs. They want businesses to pay with using boosted ads, using those sponsored advertisements to reach an audience. So they're not going to give you, you know, Facebook their algorithm is very keen on making sure they're blocking any links to outside websites. They're going to make sure that you're not, you know, pushing traffic to YouTube or to other websites. They want all the content, all the video content, the pictures, audio, all to be on the Facebook platform, because they're a business too. They want to lock you in. So be conscious of that when you hit post. You know, where's it going? How's the algorithm going to treat it? And what kind of eyeballs are you going to get?
Yeah, that's big, because the bit.ly links and all that, they're being flagged. A lot of them are, because unfortunately there's a lot of people using those URL shortener generators to do like spam things, you know, like the get rich quick schemes and all that stuff. So they're getting flagged. So of course, try not to use any of those. Start buying your own domains, and then, as you know, in the Facebook app, for everyone who has a Facebook app, you know, like what you said, it's trying to keep everything inside the app, inside the platform. When you click on an external link, notice that it opens inside the app. It doesn't go to your Chrome, to your Safari or anything. It's always going to keep everything inside. So that could be a big factor where how, you know, it's going to show up structure-wise in there.
How do you get around that?
Well, you can't. As in, like, it's always going to open. Like any link inside the Facebook, at least in the how do you say, the Facebook app, you know. It's always going to open inside the app itself. So that way you won't go away from the app and go into start getting into some other things, which is what they don't want you. They just want your attention in there, and they always have that back button right there, so make sure that you can always go back to Facebook. Make it easy for you. But another thing that I was gonna put down is so I think one of the things that a real estate agent, especially a brokerage, like a managing broker, should be doing, like one has some people that own their own brokerage and everything, is what they're missing out on is also like systemizing all of their processes. And I'm not talking about what's already systemized, which is like the paperwork, right, where someone gets to get the contract and all that out. I'm talking about, like, if you were able to figure out yourself, like, this is the thing that why they won't do it though, is because it takes so much time. But if you're able to figure out the exact process and you can systemize it and give it to every single one of your agents, and what I mean by process is every time you go to a listing, you have a checklist, all right? Take 3 photos, do one 45-second live video, do that, then send out an email, then every 2 days do a Facebook ad, and then do this type of, you get me, like those type of systems, and have it all as a literally where you can literally just copy and paste step by step, and then make every single one of your agents do that. Then and if it works, then that's
capturing emails,
Yeah.
right? So if you have an open house event and 25 people come through, there's no reason why you shouldn't be retargeting those 25 people via email.
And
I'm sure a lot of realtors would be very happy if they had
Yeah.
25 people come through a given open house. Usually you'll get 5, 6, 7, I don't know. It depends on the day.
And that goes back to actually promoting your open house in a way that's, for example, you have this incredible tool called geofencing, where you can actually target a specific geographic area.
right.
And
Always do that. Always
Yeah.
have to do that.
Absolutely. And
That's
it's
a concept, or is that like a
It's
website?
Facebook ad.
Oh,
Yeah.
Is you can do a Facebook ad where your
Geofencing.
open house is,
Yeah.
and then do
Yeah.
a 1 mile, 2 mile radius, and then just do an
Yeah.
ad about, hey, we're having an open house in your neighborhood, whatever. That's
Yeah.
just one little strategy.
And that's great
Every
because
single time.
you have people within that 1 mile radius where they're
Yeah.
like, oh, my cousin's been trying to get a place over here,
Yeah.
for the longest time, and like nothing good has opened up.
Yeah.
And like, here's something right here we can go check out.
Well, and then you can create, for example, here's a big one. We're working with a kitchen design firm who, we're talking about doing geo-targeting around Home Depots, right?
Yeah.
Because their ideal client is already going to Home Depot to see what kind of finishes there are, to see, to go into their design shop, which they offer arguably a much better service. So if they can create a very expository educational video about this kitchen design, and by the way, we're a local high-end kitchen design firm, that's the kind of marketing strategy we're looking out for. And those are things that they haven't even considered before, but we'll go ahead and bring that to the table.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and just the little details. Like, for instance, if you have a landing page that's going to get people to sign up to go to your open house, the thank you page should have a video, a personalized video, thanking you about, hey, thank you for signing up, hope to see you there. Like little things like that. You should have a video for every single step of your funnel, every single step of your campaign, always a personal video of yourself talking to your audience.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be that long. You just should.
Yeah,
have one.
exactly. And people are either don't want to do that, scared of doing that, or just are in general just lazy. So that's one of them. And so the process.
Some
is,
people are.
Yeah, they are. Just
Some
lazy.
people are, but those
Crazy.
people will not
Yeah.
be the people who get their viral video or who go get really successful or build, that business the way you're talking about.
Exactly. And one of the biggest things too is just in general, people don't really see the value in emails, and it's so valuable. Like it's a super thing that you're supposed to focus on is email campaigns. So like he was saying, if you get every single email from the people that go to these open houses, it doesn't matter if they're just looking, right? Because either they will buy in the future or they know someone else who will buy. And sometimes a lot of people don't know a real estate agent, right? So who's the first person to ask? Is friends and family, right? Do you know a real estate agent? Do you know someone that, they put it on their Facebook?
Yeah, who did you work with when you
who
bought
did you
your
work with,
place?
right?
Yeah.
Exactly. But the whole point is always being in people's faces.
Yeah, like, well, I know the agent that sold the house down the block, so he seems like he'd be the best candidate, keeping that top of mind preference. I think there's a famous book, I'm sure a lot of realtors have read it, called, I think it's called The $1 Million Realtors by Gary Keller, I believe.
Yeah.
And I believe, I don't remember the exact number, but I do remember reading in that book that you need to have 40 something touches with your prospects every year to really stay relevant and stay on the front page. And, that can be a combination of these social videos, of, emails, display advertising, mailers, whatever it may be. I would say, come up with a strategy to get all those touches. Because if Gary Keller's saying it, then I would take his advice. Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
And one thing you guys mentioned is kind of finding that strategy. And you said a lot of brokerages don't want to do this, strategy because it does take time to figure it out what's works best in a given business. And it doesn't have to be a brokerage, but you guys can help with that process and kind of seeing
That's what I'm saying,
trial and error of
outsource,
what's working with what we're doing.
Yeah.
To kind of to sharpen the sword and perfect the craft.
Exactly. It's so easy to become complacent because you do run into realtors who are like, well, I get plenty of business from just referrals, right? So now you're kind of making excuses for neglecting all the different marketing pieces that you should be putting together because things happen to be comfortable now, but what happens when they're not so comfortable?
Right.
You don't have that infrastructure in place. You know what I'm saying?
I know. And it's something you always have to be mindful of.
Yeah. And then I encountered that problem in my own family business because my father had started it, 27 years ago. 3,000 households that we were insuring at the time. So we never really had to fight hard for new business at a certain level of maturity, right? Because now we're getting a bunch of referrals and insurance, you get renewals, and you get very comfortable doing that to the point where, you might be a mature business at this point and you don't have a website, you don't have a Facebook page, you don't do videos, you don't do mailers. And, you're leaving a lot on the table. There's a lot of room for growth that, if you let complacency infect you, you're going to find yourself either plateauing or actually petering, tapering off a bit, which is what happened to us. So I would say about 5 years ago, I made a decision to start doing more marketing, and it helped us.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And you can take something that is good and make it great, or take something that's great and make it greater if you don't neglect all these things.
Right. Exactly.
Yep. And one thing I want to add about like real estate agents' profiles and all that. This is from my personal experience. I feel like this is super powerful that people are not doing. Is the real estate. You know how real estate agents have their websites and they buy the domain, which is awesome. Of course, you should always do that. Your catchy domain, buywithj.com, something like that, right? So when they do that though, sometimes because they're in like a Remax or something like that, where they already have tools like, hey, we'll create a website for you, which I would suggest not to go with. And the reason why is because your website is going to be your brand, and I think it should always be placed in your video. Like every time you say it, like you do a YouTube video, you do a Facebook Live, and by the way, I'm Jay with buywithj.com. Always
Realty
say,
with Renee, something catchy.
Yep. Yeah. And then the website though itself should not be one of those generic. The header is just a picture of a beautiful house, find your dream home,
stock photography,
and all that stuff. What it should be is a funnel, right? Talking about who you are, your case studies, your clients, that you should actually have reviews there, video reviews of people who work with you, why you're different, like all that. Like it's just a sales funnel. It shouldn't be search for your home, because I can search for it on Zillow, I can search for it on Google. No one is going to click on search for your home on your website. Make it into a sales funnel. That's very powerful.
That's an important point. I have a lot to say for that because I actually marketed for my own real estate brokerage. Is that at this point, everyone has an IDX website template that is offered by a turnkey marketing agency, and you'll find a situation where in Chicago you'll have several thousand websites that all look and function the exact same way. So how do you really differentiate yourself? How do your IDX website is not going to be as good as truly as Zillow or Redfin or whoever's, Hobbies or whoever's out there dominating that space. Okay, Zillow controls a majority of all real estate related searches on Google. So me personally, at one point, I want to say about 3 years ago, it was profitable to do a Google Ads PPC campaign and just push traffic to your IDX website. And I'm sure a lot of you who may have done this style of marketing, you might find that cost per lead steadily rise and the conversion rate steadily lower over time because there's just more competition. It's a red ocean now. So really creating, making your website a personal branded experience where you're offering something, especially video content, that no one else is offering. That's how you're going to differentiate yourself.
And is it safe to say the keys to that are working with folks like yourself who know how and why and what should be done, but also the key ingredient of hard work that has to go into it? This is not just something that will come just by doing a few things. It's just something that it doesn't have to consume your life, but you do have to be consistent.
You're building. So there's two different kinds of ways. There's two different ways you can spend your marketing dollars, right? You can build marketing assets that are evergreen, that are going to continue to be relevant for your business, and then there's advertising spend. Once you spend money on advertising, that's gone with the wind. You'll never get that back. And whether you made money with that or not, that's up to each individual campaign. But when you focus on building marketing assets, that's like building a house. You're tacking on one room at a time, and now a year later, 2 years later, you look back and now you've built yourself a mansion that you can point to and say, look at what I've built. Whereas if you spent all your money on mailers and Zillow ads, you're gonna look back and you're just gonna say, where's my house? Where's this magnificent thing that I've built? It's not there because you were neglecting it the whole time. So
for the viewers out there,
yeah.
What are the building blocks then of the marketing? If each room, if you're building a house, what are the individual rooms?
So I would start by saying focus on your niche, right? So if your niche is the most relevant to most people is a particular neighborhood, right? You know your neighborhood better than anyone else. Focus on that. If you're based in Logan Square, brand yourself the Logan Square Realtor. A lot of people are afraid of that though, because they're like, well, but I also sell homes in the South Loop and whatnot. But that's fine. There's an audience out there who are looking for Logan Square homes, and you can either be top of mind preference for that audience, or you can be no top of mind preference in any given situation. So I would rather be a specialist, because if you're a specialist, no one's going to assume that you don't work here or there as well.
Right.
So don't be afraid to embrace a niche. You want to be, you love interior design, start a video series where you focus on interior design for luxury homes, and then, well designed, well thought out homes become your market niche, for example.
Yeah.
Things to consider.
Yeah, and another I guess pillar you can say is the difference between paid and organic. So there's a lot of paid strategy, there's a lot of organic strategies. The thing is, no one is doing the organic strategies, and they're just thinking that they need to do the paid strategies to get clients in, to get money in, which is not true. Like if you don't have the money right now to be spending, money on hiring outsourcing people like to us or like to an ad agency or whatever, or you don't know how to do any of that stuff and you don't have the money for it, then just focus and double down on the organic strategies, which is like the YouTube, the daily videos, going out doing door-to-door knocking, getting the emails from the open house, right? That's all organic, where you don't have to pay for any of that. And there's a lot of those, and then I can list a lot, but it's a lot of things that you could be doing.
And there's also a blended strategy where, let's say you have your Facebook page and you have people who follow, who like your page. Now, next time you do a video, there's a very important audience that you can target, and that's friends of those individuals.
Yeah.
So when you see a video pop up, that it may be sponsored, sure, but you see that your friend, Joe and Bob and Sarah also like that page, the likelihood of you engaging with that video goes way higher. And those are paid strategies that can come at a very low cost.
And lookalike audiences too.
Yeah.
Those are very powerful.
Yeah.
So if you don't know what lookalike audience is, it's pretty much, let's say if we made a video ad and targeted for an open house, and we had a video, right? So we were targeting, and we were gonna create an asset of people who watch more than 50% of that video during the course of a month, right? And so now we have 50% audience, and let's say the audience is a number of there's 3,000 people that watch more than 50%. We can create a lookalike audience of those 3,000 and double it, and then pretty much now we have double the amount of people, because Facebook is somehow with its algorithm going to find out people who are going to be the same as these type of 3,000 people who are most likely to watch the same 50% of your video too. So it finds people who are just like them, and then we can retarget both of them and create a bigger audience, custom audience.
Technology.
Yeah.
Technology. And
absolutely.
Speaking of experts, right? You guys have clearly demonstrated your expertise in marketing. So there is a lot of good content out here for folks watching. I'm sitting here with very personable people. So if you want to just have coffee sometime or talk strategy, I mean, they're here. They're here to do that. And it sounds like with the type of work you're putting in, time blocking is going to be key. We talk about time blocking. I am trying to hone those skills myself, but I know it's hugely important in real estate. And you mentioned it could be a short video once a day, or it could be, you block off a day or two during the week, or every other day, or however you want to do it, where that's your social media day. But probably the consistency of finding what works best for you, and then sticking with it consistently.
Yeah.
Is there any other things that you guys wanted to highlight for the folks watching out there at all, or
I think that about covers it. I mean,
yeah, we're at the start. We're growing. You'll see a lot of us in the future very soon for sure, because we haven't even launched like 50% of what we want to launch yet, like the shows, video, our marketing, all that stuff, behind the scenes tutorials. So we're just at the very pinnacle, at the very start of it. But future-wise, we're going to be moving into a lot of different things, such as VR stuff, creating virtual designs for developers to see the inside of their home. A lot of design, a lot of production in general, not just video, audio, you probably would start doing like podcasts, just marketing in general with all types of production. Whether visual, motion graphics, video, audio, whatever it is.
Yeah, and then finding those relevant stories that are going to touch a lot of people. Like we're working on a video about the Paseo Trail that goes through Pilsen and Little Village. The city plans on renovating that and turning that into park area. Now, if you remember what happened in Logan Square with the 606 trail that was built and how that impacted the local real estate market, we're going to tell that story as well. So that's going to be a platform for anyone who wants to participate. If you're a local expert or you're a realtor or you're a rehabber or investor, and you want to align yourself with that sort of informative content, we're the agency you want to work with. So we care very deeply about real estate. It's our focus. So if anyone wants to reach out, they can reach me directly. My Instagram is what is my Instagram? Caban, Steven
Caban. We've made a full bars media.
Yeah.
We're adding stuff to it again. We're at the very start.
We're working so hard on we're working so hard on other people's stuff. We sometimes neglect our own stuff, but we are rolling out with a new
website,
fullbarsmedia.com.
Yeah.
The one that's currently out there is going to be replaced, and we're going to take it from there.
Good deal. And you know what? Honestly, you guys, like I said, you demonstrated your expertise already, and you have a vision for where you're going and what you want to do and how you want to expand. It's really nice to be here at the beginning of it all, and to see young men like yourselves doing this, especially for older men like me. And I joke around, 'cause I'm not that old, but I've lived a lot of life in 34 years.
Yeah.
So
how old do you think I am?
You might be older than me. I don't know. Same, close to the same age, 34. Okay, so we're the same age.
Yeah.
I didn't know, but
Is that younger?
I mean, you guys seem younger, and I know you are, of course, because I already know you. But
copious amounts of coconut oil.
oh, okay, yeah. We could do a separate video telling you which moisturizers and stuff to use. I try to avoid getting wrinkles. I'm really excited to see where you guys are going. And who you start working with too, because I know there's a lot of people out there who can really take it to the next level with your services.
We're looking for them. So
yes.
Reach out to us.
So definitely, they're available. They're here, and they have a good vision. And so whatever changes are coming, that Full Bars Media will be at the forefront of it and ready to take it on. So before we go to break, just so folks know, you have interests outside of your business. What kind of hobbies do you have?
I love music. I play Spanish guitar on my spare time, and I used to play quite a bit. And it's hard to find the spare time now, but that's my whole thing. So like Spanish flamenco guitar. That's
awesome.
Sort of thing, yeah.
How long have you been doing that?
I want to say I started playing when I was like 16, 17.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you perform live? Like, it would be cool to come to a place like the Snooty Fox
I
or
used
somewhere
to.
and
Yeah,
see you.
I used to. I'm so out of practice now, though. But if anyone wants to jam, they can reach out.
Nice.
And,
Good deal.
I'm Puerto Rican myself, so I like Latin music. I like that whole scene. So music videos is kind of also on my horizon eventually. So.
Right on. And I'll backtrack in a minute. You just planted a seed in my mind to ask Renee a question, but before we do, Renee, what are your hobbies outside of the business?
I don't know if I really have hobbies, but the only thing that I really love to do, which got me into doing video, was horror. So
Horror
right now,
movies?
short horror films.
Oh, I see.
So I made one already.
No kidding.
That one was actually premiered at the Chicago Horror Film Festival like 2 years ago.
Good
got
for you,
nominated
man.
at it. So it was
Yeah,
pretty
it's
good.
awesome. I had no
And it was
idea,
the
man.
first one, and that's actually like, I never played with the camera and the equipment. That I literally rented it out, right? I just watched YouTube videos. I rented out all the equipment, they didn't even hire, but they worked, on the production for me, because that's how the film industry is. It's like actors need, videos to be in, so they want to participate in any project they want.
Yeah.
So I made it all happen, and I was literally the only one, like, making all the equipments and everything, putting everything up myself and all that stuff,
Man.
And it turned out really well. Got into that Harm Film Festival, and from there, man, I just love doing that. So I have a couple of scripts that I'm working on right now, but I'm definitely going to be putting out some more videos of short horror films.
You don't work a day in your life if you're doing what you love. And what was the name of the movie?
Necromancy. It's on YouTube.
What's it called?
Necromancy.
Necromancy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We've just passed Halloween. We're here in December now as we film.
Right.
But I'm starting to think maybe we could do something for the Halloween episode.
Yeah.
I met somebody who is a medium and we'll explain more about what that is through Lee, the owner of the Snooty Fox and Hounds here. And they might be a guest on the for Halloween, and maybe we'll have a few other people on for that. Let me ask you: are you still doing college recruiting videos?
College recruiting videos. Oh, actually, yes.
For athletes who are making their pitch and showing their skills and accolades to colleges.
Correct. So the videos that I was making was part of 247sports.com. So it's a media group. And what they do is they help promote college athletes, high school athletes that are going to college that got recruited.
Okay.
So they're like 3, 4, 5-star athlete players, so they're pretty big, right? And they're going to some really nice schools like Michigan State, Oregon State, all that stuff. And I was doing their commitment videos, and their commitment videos are videos where they get the letter that they're accepted to these schools, and they have to make the commitment on which one they want to go to. So they pretty much reveal it through the video, which is kind of like a niche inside the sports field for those high schools.
Have they already been accepted, or
they have been accepted, and to multiple ones. They just made a commitment to which one they were going to go to.
I see.
So they reveal it,
and that's how they reveal it. I think I've actually seen a few, so that's awesome. So you're still doing that now?
Yeah.
Awesome. So for anybody out there, who wants to reveal where they're choosing to go to school,
or a baby reveal.
A baby reveal. Have you guys done any yet?
Gender reveal things.
Oh yeah. Gender reveal on
Gender reveals. We could do those videos too.
Yeah, have you done any?
I got the money. Let's do it. No, but I've seen them on the viral videos all the time on Facebook. The gender reveals. It's pretty crazy.
All right. Well, if you're looking to work with some folks, if you're expecting a new baby in the new year and you'd like to do a gender reveal video to show all your friends at once. These gentlemen here are good people to speak with. So we will be right back with you. We're going to take a short break here at the Snooty Fox and Hounds. All right, folks. We're back here with you at the Snooty Fox and Hounds in Willow Springs, Illinois. We have our food, as you can see. The owner of the Snooty Fox and Hounds is Lee. He actually went to culinary school, so we're not just eating in a place that somebody owns. He himself is a cook, and he has made us our food here today. So what we have, this is a British themed pub. We have traditional bangers and mash, which is an English dish in Britain. And we also have some of the finest thin crust pizza that I've had. And I grew up on the southwest side where there are plenty of Italian pizza places. This is easily among the best. So I guess I'd like to highlight the beers that we have here too. So if you like a good quality beer, we have several British beers here and also an Irish one. Even at British pubs, it wouldn't be complete if you didn't have Guinness in the mix. So I see for the beers we have here, I think we can see them all on the camera. We got Wells Bombardier, Glorious English. We got the Black Haven Black Scottish Stout. Old Speckle Hen there in that burgundy can, English Fine Ale. The purple and white can is Young's Double Chocolate Stout. I think Renee's going to try some of that and tell us how it is. We have a Guinness there, and then Boddington's. Boddington's, what English pub would be complete without a Boddington's pub ale there? And lastly, we have Fuller's Pub Pride. So if you're into British beers, this is the place to come. I can't even tell you how good this food smelled before we got it out here. I could smell the bangers and mash being cooked. It looks great. I'm sure it's going to taste great. I think we're just going to dig right in, gentlemen, and see how this is.
Excited. That's good.
All right, folks. We're here eating bangers and mash. Traditional British bangers and mash. And we got a lovely pizza here. You can see the bangers. Very lean sausage here. A lot of flavor. These three things accent each other so well. So what I have here is banger sausage, mashed potatoes with gravy, and a little bit of beans on the side. It has kind of a barbecued flavor, and they just blend together so well, especially if you're three hungry guys like us. So I'm gonna go ahead and enjoy here. Perfect texture. Little chew on the outside, nice and crispy and charred, and then soft on the inside. What do you guys think, Steven?
I'm impressed. I mean, I wasn't I've had mashed, but this looks like mashed potatoes and gravy to me, like I would normally have at a regular diner, but it's got extra something. a special barbecue kind of kick to it, and these bangers here are amazing. So I'm actually eyeballing that second plate that we have hanging out over there. Cause
We might end up all
Yeah.
splitting that.
yeah.
What do you think, Renee?
Yeah, like I was telling Brian, these beans, as a Mexican, we eat a lot of them every day, right? But these are, like you said, they're different. Of course, they make them different everywhere else, and super delicious. Never had beans like this before. They have a spice to it. I don't know what it is.
Yeah,
But
like
it's
a
adds so much
spicy barbecue
It's like, yeah, like
taste.
sweet, tangy,
Yeah.
like spicy, sweet, tangy, spicy, and it tastes really good.
And I don't even know how much room I'm gonna have left for the pizza. Now, the owner Lee told me that this is just for the video, but when you order a portion here, you're usually gonna get a bunch of banger sausages and a larger serving. But even the small serving here is delicious and would almost be enough. But I still gotta save some room for that pizza because, like I said, easily one of the best around here on the south side, southwest suburbs.
And did you want to do the beers?
Go ahead and crack a can of the chocolate, double chocolate stout, and then we'll each grab a slice of that pizza and kind of talk about that real quick.
You want to try something? Any of you
Yeah.
guys?
Yeah, I'll take a while.
Made with real chocolate.
I'm gonna drink this. We'll just drop it in here.
This is yours, no? Or you want to drop it in
I
there?
could just drink this. Nice. You want some of this?
Yeah, no, I got plenty of Guinness, so
For sure. Get that here.
I'll sip a little bit at the end. So we'll get ready to start filming the beer and the I'll let you guys do a beer taste first, and then we'll get into the pizza. I'm gonna grab some of this Parmesan here. Problem is, when you start getting a lot of it, you get a whole bunch on there.
I'm a crushed red pepper guy.
Hey, Manuel, can you be on this side, recording this way, while I try the beer?
You're gonna highlight the
Yeah, bring that can out front a little bit more. All right, and to wash down all this good food, the gentlemen here have Young's double chocolate stout. So, gentlemen, take a sip of that and let us know how good that is.
Oh, you definitely taste the chocolate in it.
Oh yeah, that's like this is like drinking basically a very I want to say like a Swiss chocolate almost. It's gotta have that super smooth consistency to it. It almost doesn't feel like beer. It's almost like a milkshake.
So they're trying to trick
Yeah.
you.
They're trying to trick you.
Yeah, exactly.
It's good though. It's definitely
Yeah.
delicious.
Yeah.
I never had any of this before, so definitely want to try it. Malt beverage, and it says that it has real chocolate in it, so
Oh yeah.
I'm very surprised at that.
Yeah, there's no way you can get that taste without putting real chocolate in there.
So real chocolate in there. I think you guys might have found your new favorite winter beer then.
Oh yeah.
My new favorite spot to go.
Yeah, the Snooty Fox and
pizza.
Hounds is cozy. So we're gonna get into the pizza here too. As you can see, I have an end piece with the crust on it, and I have an inner piece.
So, you come on this side, Manuel. I was trying to just get that camera, but
Oh,
we
okay.
could just cut it short. So come back into the middle of the table. So you just repeat that. So let's get into the pizza.
So for the pizza, I have an end piece with the crust on it here, and I also have the inner piece because I like a little bit of crispy crust, but also some of that juicy piece on the inside with no crust on it. So I got the best of both worlds here. You gentlemen got a slice of pizza there?
Oh, yeah.
Let me tell you something
Try it.
before I even bite in. The sausage they use here on this pizza, real good. Plenty of Parmesan on my slice here.
That's on point. I like that.
Yeah,
That cheese tastes different. It has like some
good seasoning.
good seasoning on it.
Not too much sauce. crispy and delicious. That sausage too, man. The bangers and mash, the sausage was real good. This sausage on this pizza,
Oh man, this is
so good.
perfect for that night out. Drink a couple beers, get a couple slices.
Nice date night.
Yep.
Nice date night. I've been here for a few of them. Many more to come. Man, that pizza's good. And you can order to go. So if you want to order one, it's a reasonably priced. I think it's $15 per pizza. And you can take one to go and enjoy like we are enjoying on Breaking Bread. Well, folks, I said it before, I'll say it again. I don't have to sell it anymore. The food and the presentation speaks for itself. If you're looking for a cozy place to go for a nice date night, delicious food, come on over and see Lee at the Snooty Fox and Hounds in the lovely Willow Springs, Illinois. We are blessed. We hope you are blessed too. Many blessings to you and your family in the new year. Stay tuned for the next episode coming up. We got a good New Year's episode, many good episodes to come in the new year. We love you. Keep watching. We're blessed. You stay blessed too. Signing off.